Hi, Dad. Welcome back to another episode of Dave and Andy's Honest About Life. How are you?
I'm doing well, Andy. Thank you for asking.
Good to hear it as always. So last episode I teased up uh, gambling. You know, the fact that we both like to play a little cards, Texas Hold'em, et cetera. In fact, you and I have even played together, and nothing but good memories about that. If you would, Dad, share with us a little bit about so the role of playing cards, and when I say that, I mean not just Texas Hold'em, but also like blackjack. What is your experience with that, and what would you tell folks who, in many respects, it's become an issue for them?
Yeah,
You know,
this is a very important topic, I think, because as you've said, when people have been kind of trapped in their homes because of the pandemic, they've gone online, and that's become a big thing. And I think that, and this is all my opinion, I just think that if you're a certain kind of personality, I have an addictive personality. So if I like something and I get involved in it, I go to the extreme. And that's something that I'm glad I realized because it has helped me. But I think people need to have that support system out there if it does get out of hand. And a lot of times, again, I don't know, you've been this way, Andy. I've been this way. If I go out and gamble, I never talk about my losses. I talk about, yeah, I had a big win, but when you add it all up, you're losing. And that's just the way. This is all my opinion. Obviously, I'm not trying to judge anybody. But in my case, I would always, remember those. You want to remember the good times. You don't want to remember the real bad beats. Okay, you remember those. But the other things, you want to say, yeah, I won $500 or whatever. But when you add it all up, you probably lost. But you want to talk about the wins, and that's the problem, where the problem comes in, because you are losing too. And I think you have to admit to yourself, you have to be able to talk to yourself and say, what am I doing? Am I going too far? Do I need help? And there is help out there. There's a lot of help for people that are addicted to gambling. And that's what we have to kind of lean on and use a little bit more freely, I believe.
it's good advice. So I have seen, like when you're in, you're all in. Which from a son's perspective, when you are, you're super supportive when you used to bring the entire television crew to a basketball game so that you wouldn't miss my game, right? But you also had to give the weather in the evening at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and unfortunately, that's when they'd schedule basketball games, especially back in high school. And so, when you're all in, you're all in. I know that you'll even travel great distances to watch a game because it's something you really, really care about. And so it's interesting that you bring that up, because I've always noticed that about you. Like when you like a fast car, I remember some of your first cars, really fast. You're into that. Bowling, right? You're very competitive. Bowling, softball. Name all the things that when you downhill skiing, water skiing. When you're all in, you're all in. So you notice that about your personality, which means that you really get it. You excel in all these different things, but there's really something good about that. But at the same time, like you say, that can also take you down a different path, and you could spend too much energy trying to be good at something that you can never be good at. You'll always lose, and that's blackjack, cards. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
I totally agree. That's a very good point, Andy. And yeah, to my detriment, I think I would get uh, overly excited about something that it's not, in the end, it's not going to be to my advantage. So I had to look at myself, and I don't play as much as I used to play, and I play controlled now, which I never did in the past. I was out of control usually. Um, uh, and people that know me and people that have played with me know that. And but now things have changed dramatically, and for necessity, I'm I'm on a fixed income. I'm retired, so that kind of also played a part in me. But a lot of people don't look at that. They think that they're going to win. And that's unfortunately, in that particular case with gambling, it doesn't happen. That's why they call it gambling. That's why they build these big casinos. And I'm sorry, I hope I don't make casinos bad, because I spent a lot of time there. And I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying any of this is bad. I don't want to judge anything. I just feel that there are certain people that have to look at themselves, and that's the tough part. Realize what you're doing.
Well, and so there's proof that, like you said, by necessity, is that motivation for you. But I imagine a lot of people pass right by necessity and keep on going until it's way beyond too late. So, I wish we had a solution that we could bottle up and that we could give to some of those that are really struggling with it. Because now, when you watch these, watching a football game, during that football game, all kinds of advertisements about gambling, and we could name a few, but we probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the commercial, it says, if you have a gambling problem, call this number. And that's what I pay attention to, is that little notice at the end. It's sort of like drinking, so you see these advertisements for alcohol, and they say, if you have a drinking problem,
Right.
So what are we supposed to do? And is it easy to recognize that in yourself? Okay, now's the time to stop.
Yeah, I think the points that has helped me, and I don't know if this will help anybody else, but the things that have helped me is, one word that sticks out is moderation. With everything, moderation with everything. Our diets, our social life, our family life. Take everything in moderation, and I believe that way you can still be in control. You're control if you are doing things in moderation, you're in control. If you're out of control, moderation never plays a part. So that's I think that's the word that's key for me. And if you're drinking too much water, they say it's bad for you. So moderation.
Too many vitamins. Well,
yes,
I think that's a perfect place, a perfect word to think about, to leave us thinking about. So thank you, Dad, for sharing your experiences and your openness. I mean, I know this is about you and I connecting and sort of leaving this legacy of our experience, which I think is incredibly valuable, if for no one else, then just for us.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, Dad, very much. Let's leave it at that, but let's talk about next episode. Let's talk about, let's pivot a little bit away from these vices.
Yeah.
And into, why do you think we as humans feel like what we're experiencing is new and unique and significant? And what I mean by that is, like, this, why is the sky falling on every generation, and somehow it's more profound than it was for our parents?
That's a deep topic. This is really deep.
It is. So let's chat about that next time, Dad. And until then, be well.
You too. Love you, buddy.
Love you, Dad.